Good morning, everybody. Mike Wright, happy Wednesday, and we greatly appreciate you coming and learning from us. I am excited because we have an amazing agent with us today, Leo Sandoval. He is with EXP, Integrity Dream Home. That name in itself, to me, is just amazing, and we'll touch base on where he came up with that, but I appreciate you coming, my friend.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Leo.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, dude, I am excited as well. I have learned so much from our friendship on how you conduct your business, and I figured you would be perfect to get in front of all these people and share where you've come from and how you become the rock star you are. So thank you for being here today.
Absolutely. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So we got State Fair coming. Anytime I hear State Fair coming, I'm like, oh, God. Not only do we got this, ungodly event, but we got winter Jack Frost right around the corner, right?
Sure.
Here we go. Are you a big State Fair guy?
It's funny. I know this is probably going to rub some people the wrong way, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a big State Fair guy. And honestly, that's mostly I find myself out of town a lot of times during that same time frame. Last year, our family invested into a camper. My wife has been asking to go to Idaho for a few years now, so we made that trip happen last year. Went out to Idaho, tore it up, and then the other part is that we're either out of town or I just try to stay guarded towards the greasy foods. I mean, me going there would not be good. So I pop in every couple of years. I pop in for a few hours to enjoy myself, but that's about it. Yeah.
That's right. I start thinking about their cheese curds, until I have one. And then I'm just like, what in the hell did I just eat that for? So give away the rest. But anyway, so let's get back to you. So tell us how you got into the business. Your background is so cool. Coming from Chicago, right?
I was born in Chicago. Yep.
Born in Chicago, a Cubbies or White Sox fan, or
not
who
a big
gives
baseball
a rat's ass?
guy.
Got it.
But I'm a diehard Bears.
There you go.
Bears.
There you go. Well, they should be good this year. Justin Fields, etc.
I hope so.
So tell us how you ended up in Minnesota, how you became a realtor, etc.
Ended up in Minnesota. My mom, we moved to Minnesota. My mom wanted to get us out of the ghetto and just give us a fresh start in life. Unfortunately, those issues kind of followed us here and kind of had to go through, some struggles in life. But we moved here and, I go back very often to visit family and yeah.
Well, I think the important thing that I want to reiterate is you came from a battle, right? This business as an agent is super, super difficult. But it's even more difficult when you've had to be brought up where life has been challenging, because we all have faced it. But you've persevered. How did you then decide to become a realtor?
So I actually, getting into real estate, it was through hardship. My background's in the automotive business. I was in entry-level car sales and grew a career in the automotive world, grew into sales management. I was managing the sales staff of the dealership, managing them, their clients, and just supervising that process from beginning to end. We did everything from the sale of the car to the financing involved and overseeing that whole process. And so my skills from that transferred over into real estate. And, getting into real estate, I mentioned hardship. My mom actually got sick with cancer, and I needed to take care of her. That was my main priority, is taking care of Mom. And she'd always told me that, I was going to be the one to take care of her. I didn't really know what that looked like until that time came. And so I resigned from the automotive world, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have money saved up. I had this lifestyle, making sales manager salary and bonuses. I bought a house, car, things of that nature, and I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I needed to be there for my mom. And so I started a snow plowing business. Winter
Right.
was coming up. Started a snow plowing business and thought, it always seemed, being in Minnesota, always seemed like good money. And then, after after winter, snow melts, and I was thinking like, well, what am I going to do when the snow melts? A friend of mine had mentioned, hey, had you thought about getting into real estate? No, I really hadn't, and kind of just putting this thing together here as I go, and but the thought of it and the skill set that I had gained in the car business, I thought to myself, I could probably make that work. So
It's super cool because and we'll touch base on all your social media outlets, but
Yeah.
what I quickly learned about you is your YouTube channel speaks volumes about you, right?
Thank you.
And not only your customer service, but your care for people, etc. But
Yeah.
let's back up a little bit. Bob obviously brought you to EXP, but what I love about the power of your name.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the Integrity Dream Home?
Yeah, thank you. So I was just pen and paper.
Yeah.
Just pen and paper. I started, thinking to myself, what's important to me, and what do I want to represent? And as I'm thinking and reflecting on that, I'm writing just random stuff, just anything that came to mind. I'm writing it, scribbling and scratching, and I thought to myself, what's important? And integrity was one of the first things that came to mind. Integrity being something that I think we're constantly growing into and striding for. None of us are perfect by any means, but just that desire to do the next right thing, and that's kind of just written on my heart and written on me as a person. So I thought, it's not just another word. It's really important to me as I live my life. And then I thought to myself, what's important to people beyond that is, their dream home. They're
Right.
making one of the biggest decisions they'll ever make in their life. And how awesome is it that I get to play a small part in that bigger picture? And so I thought, I just put it together, and boom, I was like, oh my gosh, that's it, Integrity Dream Home. I checked the domain and checked to make sure it was to my surprise, it was available, and so that's kind of how I launched my brand. Just very, very intentional with my brand.
I love it. So Leo Sandoval, Integrity Dream Home, powered by EXP Realty.
Yeah.
That's solid, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what has been, knowing you've started this business, what's kind of been some of the hurdles you ran into?
Yeah, great question. I think initially, getting my license and kind of thinking to myself, well, I think I might be able to make this work. These skills should transfer over. The biggest shock I ran into was the difference of generating business. In the car business, everyone comes to you. In real estate, you have to go to them. And so that was a shock for me initially. It was like, oh man, like it's pretty quiet. Like, where's the business?
Right.
Oh, I got to get up and get out and get it, right? So recognizing that fairly quickly and taking action on that.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's a very, very typical problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that initial challenge, have you mentorships? Who do you bank on? I know Bob brought you in. Who have you banked on as far as learning? Not only internally, but also externally.
Yeah. So I have, I think initially it's trial and error. Fortunately, since I've been with EXP, the business model, the team model being agent centric, it's about the agent. It really is an advantage for us because we have someone to reach up to.
Yeah.
Bob has been instrumental with if I have contract questions, local questions, city question, anything. local, he's been very, very helpful, and he always picks up the phone. That's the most important thing. Where I was at previously, it was a challenge. Can't get a hold of the broker, and now I can get a hold of Michelle, Andy. I can text them, and they'll respond like that. So yeah, I've been really happy to partner with EXP, and externally, I also get fed through the number one real estate coach, Tom Ferry.
Oh yeah.
That's played an instrumental role in getting mentorship locally, getting coaching on the business, and just continuing to grow. And that's what I love about mentorship and coaching, is that it doesn't matter where you're at in your business. If you're the new guy who's never had a sale before, or if you're making millions of dollars as a team lead, everyone is coachable. Everyone has room to grow. If that's what we desire, is to continue growing, there's always room for growth and coaching. So I'm a big believer in mentorship and coaching.
Leo, I think you nailed it right there, and you said it something very passively, but we had a gentleman on here that owns another company, and he had said ego can be a horrible deterrent from you learning.
Yeah.
Your willingness to learn and learn from mentors and seek mentors is critical, right?
And the culture of collaboration. Some people view other realtors as competition, and while we are in a competitive business and we are competitive individuals by nature, it doesn't mean I have to look at every single realtor as my competition, or like, oh, I don't want to share what I'm doing, or I think that we can all learn from each other and really connect in that and grow together. And so I've always just carried that collaborative culture, that collaborative mentality. So
it makes the industry as a whole better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's dance a little bit into your social media, okay? Because what I absolutely, like I said, your YouTube channels, when he sends an intro out to his clients, there's 4 quick videos about who you are, and they're short, sweet, with some customer testimonials, and they're powerful, man.
Yeah.
I love it. How did you start doing those?
Yeah, well, I think as we're creating a brand, it's important to have a brand video explaining to people who you are, what you do, and just that power, that influence behind your brand of who you are and what you want to do for people. And so, I think everyone should have a brand video. If you're Johnny Real Estate Group, well, you should do a video on why I would work with you, Johnny Real Estate Group, right? And so, putting that together and, getting some client testimonials in that are powerful. People want to hear from other people's experience. Don't just take it from me. This is what my clients have to say. I think there's power in that, and just having that concise message.
Well, the cool thing, and you mentioned it earlier, what I admire about you is you say, I take a very small role. Yeah. Well, agents take an enormous role, right? Because you are the ringleader of many of different variables.
Sure.
But the humility of saying, I just want to make sure this goes, it ain't about me.
Yeah.
It's about you as a consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the heart behind it, is we definitely have a big role, big responsibility.
Yeah.
It's one of people's biggest decisions. But, also knowing, it's not about me, and this world's a lot bigger than me. And so I just get to play a small part in that bigger picture.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's a tribute to your family, your upbringing, and your fight to survive and be a winner.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's good for you. So with the social media stuff, man, you got TikTok, you got X, you got all these different vehicles, and more and more people I'm seeing on TikTok. And what are your how wide do you want to expand your biz with that stuff?
Well, I think a lot of us get into a an overwhelmed place of just there's always something to do, and there's always different platforms and new platforms, and you got to just bite it off in pieces. Start with the basics: Facebook, Instagram. Then get into TikTok, YouTube. Yeah, and it's okay to circle back. It's not that I can perfectly manage each platform, but I'll put all my effort into one, and then I'll grow to the next one, and then once I kind of get that one situated, I'll grow to the next one. And the cool thing about video is I can repurpose it. I don't need to record 4 different videos for 4 different platforms. I can record one video and post it on all 4 platforms. It takes me 15, 20 minutes to make the post. The videos and the editing, there's much more in depth.
But that's where there's guys like Jake, and
Sure.
Jake has been a tremendous partner of mine, a great friend.
Yeah.
But if you ever need, he's more than willing to help. So tell me a little bit about your, I call it the low-hanging fruit, your clients, man. I mean, you've got some great referral, testimonials. How do you nurture those babies?
Well, about 80% of our business comes from who we know. And so that's why I'm big on video, is because how can I connect with the people I know best? Typically, that's going to be through social media. Social media is a powerful tool. And I carry a video-first marketing mentality. We're heading into we're in the digital age, but even more so, everything's going into video. And, for those that aren't posting videos, and there's a lot of people that have established businesses, don't need it, that's fine. But for people getting started, and as we kind of head into this next age, video first marketing mentality. And so, Facebook, I think I have the most organic and genuine connections with just people in my generation. I think, the TikToks and some of these platforms are kind of the next generation. And it, being in this business, it requires us to adapt. It requires us to stay relevant, stay relevant in my generation and the next generation that's coming. So I would say for me, Facebook is really big. Google, I get a lot of referrals and people that find me just searching on Google. And so I want to be Google's best friend. Google is the search engine that people are searching what they need. They're not going to Facebook and typing in, best realtor. They're going to Google. And so Google is who we want to be best friends with. And I try to do my best to build on that platform too.
I think you nail it. And I think it's critical for everybody out here is we have so many shiny objects, right? They come out with X, they come out with a competing, Twitter, whatever the new name is. I mean, it's like, for the love of God, you can get overwhelmed. A great realtor that I'm going to have on over the next couple of weeks, Kat, did a post simply by saying her head's spinning, saying, my God, what do I post on now? So I applaud you for being very specific. And making that flower, man.
Absolutely.
So that's solid. So tell me, Leo, what is your superpower? I mean, you've got, you've learned, you've been through hard times. You've gotten into the car business, which is a whole different animal in and of itself. Long hours in a different way. What's kind of, where do you shine, man, besides your humility and your kind behavior?
I would say resiliency. Resiliency is probably the biggest thing as far as a character trait goes. Being resilient when rejected, being resilient when things don't work out or go your way. It's just being resilient and staying the course and doing those everyday activities that are going to be fruitful. And the other thing I would also add to that is just I'm very big on goals and setting goals and writing goals. 42% more likely to accomplish a goal when we write it down. And so you should see my home office. I've got whiteboards just circling the room, just whiteboards everywhere where I can write my goals down. I can write where my next 30 deals are coming from. I can write my ideas that I'm in the midst of doing, my ideas that are done. I've got a board for like my prospecting and the calls that I'm making. You know, I want to know how many calls each day, how many calls have I made, how many texts have I sent, how many people have I connected with in that. And so, yeah, I'm very systemized in my tracking and measuring and goal setting. So I would say goal setting and, you know, systems.
Well, and I've seen you a couple times in here, and
Yeah.
boom, he just whips up his, you know, his little arena, and it's just cool, right? But your wife obviously has been extremely supportive of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't be here without a supportive wife in my corner. My wife actually owns our sister company, Saved by Grace Home Staging and Design.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah, she stages for tons of realtors around the Twin Cities, and we've kind of got the team going. In fact, we were just staging for HGTV last week, and have some cool opportunities like that. So,
oh, wow.
yeah,
Fantastic.
we're kind of cut from the same cloth, while we have gotten to where we are, just, you know, different paths, I think. So, yeah.
That's super cool. I did not know that about her. That's quite the talent and can help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we've got over 900, and I forget 950 agents on here. What are a few tidbits that you would share?
Yeah.
Besides your, you know, like you said, the planning aspect of it, your drive. What
Yeah.
are some other tips you'd give agents?
Yeah, I would say just be consistent. Be consistent, because we all go through tough seasons, especially in Minnesota. Minnesota, once the snow hits, I mean, everyone's in a funk, right? Like, we don't get no sun for, like, I forget what movie that is, where there's like no sun for like 40 days or whatever. I don't know, but like, we don't get sun, and we all have those funky seasons.
Yeah.
But just staying consistent even through those funky seasons. And so, what does that look like? You know, picking up the phone when you might not feel like it. You know, sending out those texts, doing the videos, posting the videos. Just stay consistent. It doesn't have to be necessarily every day, but people need to see you at least a few times a week.
Yeah.
Even through the storms, even through the tough times, just staying consistent year round. And I would say stay consistent. The seeds that we're planting today are what is going to bring a better tomorrow. And so you got to stay consistent in planting the seeds every day.
We use on here, we use the consistent, persistent, and patience.
Yeah.
Right? Because it doesn't happen easily, and it's easy to get disenchanted.
Yeah.
But your ability to stay top of mind, but I think your goals in laying those out has been huge for you.
Yeah.
Because you can be reminded every day when you go home.
Yep.
You walk into the O and you say, here's my drive,
Yep.
right?
Yep, exactly.
Well, I applaud you for coming on. I appreciate you being our Realtor of the Week.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, dude, it is very, very cool. You do an amazing job at what you do.
Thank you.
And I look forward to our friendship continuing.
Yeah.
We're super happy. I didn't introduce myself, but I'm with Edge Home Finance, Mike Wright, and I love the fact that you're constantly around, feeding off us agents.
Yeah.
I know Jose has been great for you. Tom has been great for you.
Instrumental.
And we appreciate your. We learned from you too, man. So thank you for being on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem at all. All you out there, thank you for being here. We did change our name, which I'll do a little video on why we did it, but it's switched from MN Realtors to Realtor Connect because we wanted to expand our horizons, okay? We also have a YouTube channel, which is Realtor of the Week, all spaced out, and our Instagram is all one word, Realtor of the Week. And we would be super honored if you guys came, followed, and shared it. It means a lot to us, and it gives us the ability of meeting studs like this. So I appreciate you tremendously, my friend. Thank you, Leo.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a good week.
You too.